So a Patreon supporter asked me, do women like to be approached? And I said to myself, they say they do, but their reaction say otherwise, right? So we're gonna be watching a video where women complain about men not approaching them. And I'm gonna tell you why, in terms of evolutionary, if the evolutionary reason why women say this, and yet when a guy does it, they don't really react. Because the truth is this, and the average guy approaching a woman will see her. It's almost like 1% chance that you'll see her. Like literally, like there's been guys who done approaches, even me, and 1% is if you suck, 2% if you're really good, 3% if you're like god level. It's the stats are that low for average looking people. So we're gonna watch this video where these women are complaining, and I'll tell you, and I'm gonna give you guys my take on this, okay? And before we begin, we're selling our course here. Dark Game is a course that I have specifically for guys who want to improve their overall dating life. It's a big course, but I talk about natural game, I talk about pickup game, I talk about gaming at work, gaming in school. I pretty much teach you everything that I know about female nature. So go check it out. If you're interested, you can purchase it under the description down below, okay? All right, so let's begin this.
Basically, I like to be approached by guys, and I think that a lot of guys in Los Angeles.
Yeah, but ask her, how many of them does she really go out with? Now, there's not, obviously she's not gonna bang every dude that approaches her, but it's naive because she's pretty much saying, I like being approached, because most of the time she's gonna say no to the guy. She's gonna say no to the guy. So a lot of women say approach me, and when you do, they get rejected. There's no motivation for guys to approach women nowadays.
Don't do that. I think that a lot of guys in Los Angeles don't do that.
And you wanna know why? Because they've been rejected. It's like women don't understand how much a rejection hurts. And some of these women they don't even stop. They just keep walking. Like literally, like you'll stop them, and they'll literally keep walking.
I think LA men are used to women approaching them. I have noticed that the girls out here, I mean, I've never noticed it before because I can't compare it in New York, but you know, they do go after what they want. A lot of women know what they want here.
Women have become really less approachable.
Exactly. Say it, Karen.
A man's really not clear if a woman is interested. And that's a problem.
Because a lot of women, this is what will happen. A lot of women who will look at you are just looking at you to see whether or not they're that attractive, or they'll make you approach. A lot of women will look at you. Let's say you have a girl with you. You'll notice a lot of women will look at you because they want to see whether or not they're hot enough to take away attention from the girl onto her. Like, and they're complaining that guy's not approaching them.
Because as a man, to walk across the room to talk to a woman and be rejected, I mean, who likes to be rejected? That's a really tough thing.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some subtle hints to open up that door, because I'm one of those men that don't like rejection. You know, I don't want to come up to you. I'm one of those guys, I'm in a club dancing, and I come to ask you to dance, you tell me no, I probably won't ask anybody else for the rest of the...
Exactly. It's like we're not made out of steel. You know, and these women think, and a lot of these women demand that guys approach them so that they could reject them. They'll even look at you. They'll like give you that look, right? And then when you approach, she'll be like, I wasn't looking at you. Maybe she wasn't. But the point is that they like rejecting because it makes you feel bad. But for some women, it feels great because it shows to them that they still have it.
But again, it goes back to that men are at risk. And so as men, we've got to get over that. You know, if I walk up to this woman and she's not interested, how do I deal with that?
I think you should approach. I don't think there should be anything, and at least talk to them. It doesn't mean rejected.
Well, first of all, will she talk back to you? Most likely she won't. It's like, honestly, I just think some women are so compassionate that they lack an understanding of human nature in terms of men and how they interact with women. Like, it's like for some reason in that part, the brain shuts off and they just say, why is it so hard to approach a woman? Bitch, you're gonna reject me.
You're going to say, will you go out with me? I mean, it doesn't hurt to approach
Bitch, it hurts to. What are you talking about?
someone and talk to them. You can't be rejected unless you're asking them a question.
And then I imagine I would like to ask her how many of the guys that you approached you actually went out with you. And I can promise you, most women say they want to be approached by a guy. They want a charming guy to do it, and when it happens, they don't go out with them. Like it's like that's why you don't learn to fish from a fish, pretty much.
Like, will you go out with me? But you can certainly go in and talk to them. And that's the whole thing about being open. That doesn't hurt at all. And you never know the interesting...
It hurts the ego. Like, she's acting like women are angels.
things you can find out when you do that.
I guess I kind of feel like a fool if I approach a girl and with the, and it's almost obvious to her that the reason I'm approaching her is because I find her attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he's already getting nervous in the talk.
when I realize that maybe she's not necessarily has the sense of humor or whatever it is that I'm looking for, I kind of...
Well, the woman doesn't have a sense of humor because she doesn't like you. Now, I've approached women that like me, don't get me wrong, but the only reason why some women find you funny is because they like you. Your value becomes a source of her entertaining. Like, when a woman likes you and she sees you as high value, all of a sudden you're a comedian. All of a sudden you're funny. All of a sudden everything you say is funny. Why? Because she likes you. And that's how women act when they like a guy. They laugh at everything they say.
I feel like a dope.
The men who I know who are single do typically approach women that they're interested in. And they also will approach women in circles that they're in.
Yeah, I actually did that once. I asked a guy out, but it was by email. So I think that was probably...
Yeah, I mean, it's different for a woman to approach a guy. I mean, I've only had one woman approach me, and she was a 300-pound gorilla. Like, it's like, out of all the women to approach me, they're either gay, which is a man, or they're fat as fuck. So it's kind of like, you might as well be a dude hitting me up.
Probably like a little bit safer. I don't know if I've never actually just asked a guy out. I'm kind of shy, so that might have something to do with it. But theoretically, I think it would be okay. But at some point in the relationship, I think that it would need to shift, and he would need to be the one that was really pursuing me. Otherwise, it's not going to work out.
Yeah, 100%. It's just the woman doesn't chase the guy. Evolutionarily speaking, the woman doesn't chase the guy. She's just receptive to him, right? Now, the time when the woman chases the guy is when they depend on you, when they have a kid, right? When they have a kid and they depend on you financially, she will chase you. She will, like, you get what I'm trying to say? It all depends on how needy she feels, either financially, physically, or emotionally. If they don't need you in any of those three areas, it's just not going to chase you.
I honestly don't get pursued. I think since I've been out here in 2 years, maybe 2 guys that I've known of that have been interested.
Yeah, and the reason why she doesn't get pursued is because she doesn't like most of the guys.
I don't go to bars much anymore, but I used to. And back then, that would be maybe 5 years ago, I would do that. Just go up to women that I didn't know at all and just, find a way to talk to them. I'm a little more kind of laid back now about that. Like in group settings, I'll look, and if there's someone I want to talk to, I might wait to see if there's anyone I know already in the group that is talking to her, and I'll go up and say hello to the person I already know and let them introduce me.
Imagine women having to think about this kind of stuff. Women just can't do this. Like, women can't handle rejection too well. Like, they'll just fucking stab you or some shit for saying no to them.
Her, as opposed to going to a group of strangers and just starting a conversation.
I think
she's hot as fuck.
that it's really the guy's job to pursue, but I think many times I have been one to just step out and be like, hi, but I am that way with a lot of people. I just like to find what makes people tick.
Yo, she is hot as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know what the hell she was saying halfway through.
the mixed message is incredibly difficult for me, because I I really edge on the side of caution. Like I have this paranoia.
Well, it's because women. I mean, it has to be a biological thing why women send mixed signals. Like it has to be a legit biological thing why they send mixed signals, because it's too common of a complaint from guys. Like at some point when you see this universally throughout different countries, at some point you got to say this is a biological thing about women, that they just send mixed signals. Maybe because they don't know if they like you or not. Maybe because they have so many options that them being uncertain about you makes you feel like they're sending mixed signals. Or maybe because some women like to fuck with men. One of those two.
Of being somebody who's making advances at somebody that's not interested, because I just never want to be that guy. So I will err on the complete opposite side of not even going. It's almost like I have to have almost a green light for me to go ahead
And I feel I know how he feels. I've been in those situations where my ego feels brittle, and I'm like, I'm not down to get this ego to get my ego destroyed right now, man. I'd rather approach later on.
That romantically.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm actually doing a course on male nature, and as I'm studying human evolution, this is what I found out. A poor husband. This is what I found out is that when a man divorces a woman, he can get an 18-year-old for 20, he could dump her and get an 18-year-old for 24 more years of reproduction. A woman will have a hard time finding a man to invest in her and her children. So the guy's gonna have an easier time remarrying. So a poor husband may give a wife a reason to desert him, especially if she has no kids. A husband who raises his wealth and status may desert the wife to get more younger women, because you got to see it as evolution. Like the body, you're always trying to find somebody who's more reproductive than the other one. When mothers grow self-sufficient, listen to this. When mothers grow self-sufficient, they initiate the divorce more often. Societies where women are financially secure has more divorce in it, right? And that's what we see, is that more women are becoming more financially independent. And so naturally, the more financially independent the woman is, the more she'll likely initiate divorce or a breakup. Why? Because she doesn't depend on the man. Back then, there was less breakups. Back then, there was less divorce. Why? Because they know the woman didn't have a social structure to support her. Like they weren't allowed to work at a certain job. But now women are allowed to work at a certain job. And now women don't depend on guys. So the divorce rate goes up. The infidelity goes up. All because women are just more independent. Now, I'm not saying that we should put them in cages and shit, but that's one of the reasons why women are focusing more on their career, because the society we live in is more open. You know? Now, if you go to a Muslim culture or a very religious culture where the women are oppressed, extreme cultures, that's what I'm talking about, extreme cultures, then you might see this kind of tradition where the woman doesn't divorce the guy because she has no other choice. I mean, it's kind of crazy.
We're so busy. We're on the phone in our cars. We've got our Blackberries. We're scheduling. And we're so busy. And we don't often make space for a relationship.
The thing about being a man's equal from a woman, I think, is totally wrong, because I think men want the woman to be feminine, and I think that's so important, the feminine role and the masculine role.
Mm-hmm. Over the last couple of decades, the biggest thing that has shifted in romantic relationships for men and women is that women have become so successful and so independent and self-sufficient. And all of that is good. It's good for women to be successful, accomplished, educated, etc.
But in terms of love, it makes it more difficult. Because I think that's one of the reasons why women were more open back then, because they depended on the guys. So now women don't need you. So now the only thing that will inspire them to be with you is actual love, which is kind of crazy.
But it has given us a couple of problems in our romantic relationships. One is that we really don't need men for anything.
And back then we needed each other. Now we don't need each other. We don't need each other anymore. You know, so it's kind of like back then what drove us together wasn't love, it was need or business. Nowadays, none of that works, you know?
And so men are busy trying to impress us or show us what they can provide. And we sort of have this attitude of, well, until you can provide something beyond what I can provide for myself, why should I be impressed by you? Why should I pay any attention to you? So it's not that there's anything wrong with what the feminist movement created or the successes and the achievements that women have had, but rather how it has made us less willing to be impressed by who men are and what they can provide.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it is. And there's a reason why it's hardwired in a woman to sort of like depend on the guy, because it causes them to get together and have more kids. Like, you got to look at it from evolutionary standpoint. Evolution, natural selection selected women who needed men most because those women had the most kids. The ones that had the most kids got to pass on their genes, and that trait was passed on. So it promoted the genes of women needing men more, and it removed the women who didn't need men more because they didn't have kids. So the ones that procreated and that had kids and that survived were all descendants of needy mothers. Now, it's not a good experience for the woman to be needy of a guy because some guys abuse them, but in terms of natural selection, that's what it chose. So guys are just not going to be approaching women anymore because women are just saying more often no to them. They're saying no more to men than before. So at some point, it hurts too much. At some point, it's to the point that us guys, we're not going to approach them anymore. Not you guys, but in general, most guys. Because if you guys watch my channel, you guys are not little bitches here, okay? Let's read some of the comments on this. Basically, I like to be approached by guys. Guy, hey, what's up? Girl, I have a boyfriend. Of course. Women love putting men on the spot where they have to take all the risk while gaining little in return. When society is embracing the notion that to be male is both taboo and something to be ashamed of, the results are pretty obvious. And when laws and policies are fashioned to favor women over men legally, their outcomes are far worse than what this video explains. Because nowadays, women are still getting approached. They call it harassment. That's true. Men stay away if you don't, or end up going to jail. Men will pursue a woman if there's a reward for it. If there's nothing to gain, why do it? Women want to be treated like men as equal rights and all that bullshit. But they expect men to pursue them and want men to pretty much do all the work in the relationship. I'm 36, no kids, have my own money, never married, and do what I want. Marriage is a joke. Approaching a woman can get a man arrested. Well, it depends on what country. Yeah, man. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to get one-on-one coaching, go to mindforattraction.org. I'm having a few seminars in the United States. Go to my website to see if I'm coming to your city, okay? All right, guys, don't stay toxic, people. Okay, so if you consider yourself a nice guy, if you're the type of person that always gets played by women, is considered like a mama's boy, or you like assertiveness, or you've been bullied when you were a little kid, and so you develop some nice guy's tendencies, then I would highly recommend you check out my new course, Nice Guy. It's specifically made for just nice people in general. I'm a nice guy. I was a nice guy. I was a Bible teacher, for God's sake. I was a Bible teacher. It doesn't get any more nicer than that, okay? So in this course, I will teach you about the art of assertiveness. And if you just learn to become more assertive in a healthy and non-toxic way, what will happen is that men will respect you and women will bang you for the most part, okay? As long as women respect you and see you as a man, that's all that matters. So this course is more about how to embrace your masculine side. If a guy watches this, he'll embrace his masculine side. If a woman watches this, they'll embrace their feminine. This is a course specifically made to bring out your assertive self in a healthy way. So you're going to learn about the source of human aggression, rejection. You're gonna learn about how to assert yourself in terms of in a work situation, what to do if somebody disrespects you, how to know if somebody is disrespecting you or not. Because when you're a nice person, you assume that everybody has good intentions. So you can check out all of this. It's a pretty big course, but the size of the course, it doesn't matter. You can check out all of this for just $99. And if you don't like it, just ask for your money back, and I'll send you your money back. No questions asked. Not one time in my career have I ever rejected somebody's refund. So if you don't like it, it's a money back guarantee. This is the equivalent of buying a sneaker. Okay, it's a really good investment. So I'll see you guys inside. It's a 30-day money back guarantee, and you will not regret it, because after this course, you will learn how to become more assertive, and women will stop playing you. It's plain and simple, and that's all that matters. I'll see you guys inside.